So let me ask you, have you ever
Hi.
bungled an introduction?
No, but I've allowed dead air during an introduction. Hello, everyone.
I am socially awkward. And for whatever reason, despite the fact that an introduction is pretty well agreed upon by society, it's a rather important thing. It's almost like a
Okay.
password. You introduce, you give the syllable, the collection of syllables, the noises that make your name, your personality, personal identity, whatever it is almost like a password for the other person, because if they
Okay.
know it, you've been introduced. And then it's like,
Okay.
oh, I know who you are. Or the other awkwardness of you don't know who they are, but they know who you are. How long have you ever gone without
Solid.
introducing yourself to someone?
I don't. There's probably people that are of an acquaintance level that we've just never interacted, but always been like,
What about
oh, most of
directly
my neighbors.
working
There
with
we go.
someone? What about a coworker?
Yeah, probably.
At a
Oh,
job
for
where you
sure. For
don't
sure.
wear a name tag?
Yeah, haven't worn a name tag in quite a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you've never had that happen? Or you have had that happen? Have you worked with someone for a
People.
year before you finally went, so this is awkward. This is my name.
I probably would have too much anxiety at that point to do the "this is my name" part. But yeah, absolutely. I
Okay.
actively work with people right now who I'm like,
But have you been introduced?
no.
Did someone introduce you, or you didn't take it upon yourself? Because that's where it gets me. Because it's the responsibility of the other person. I've been introduced to this person. I know this person. They are the one making the quote unquote introduction. But if they fail that, clearly what's expected is for me to then step up and go, oh, this is my name, and introduce it. But if you don't, and then that
Nope.
interaction
Nope.
ends, it'll never happen.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. I lived there for like a lot of stuff. So anyway, my name is Mary. That's Michael.
I was wondering how long I could get that bit to go on without actually introducing the podcast. If we could have made it the whole episode, that would have been funny. Anyway,
Oh,
yeah.
we absolutely could have. What if it was the never introduced podcast?
Until the final episode
Never.
where you then do an introduction
Yeah.
and end it forever.
Yeah, and then it's like, and I'm Mary. Bye for the rest of time.
Yeah, I don't think that's actually going to work, but
I
it
think
is a
it
pretty
could
funny bit.
absolutely work. So, hi.
Hi. So should we do an introduction now, or should we wait until the end?
Yes.
Well, now
Both.
you've left it up to me. My name is Michael Ward.
Yeah.
And her name is Mary Ward. And we've known each other our
Ew.
entire lives. Which
No.
sounds like a coincidence until you find out that we're both just siblings, and that's how it works, and we have the same last name.
I guess you've known me for my entire life, but I haven't known you
I thought
for
about this
your
yesterday because
entire
I thought
life.
about doing that as an intro, and I thought, okay, that's going to be the semantic of like someone in the comments being, well, actually, I wasn't making
I think that's how
memories
you
for the
should
first
introduce
3
it.
years.
How do you know?
Because
Ah!
I don't have those memories.
Maybe you do. You know when you're like real bored? It was probably that.
With the first 3 years of life, I was just really bored. I have a feeling I was screaming
boring.
and crying. I don't actually know that, but that's just my guess.
That's what I do now. I don't know why I would do any different. I've perfected it. I put in so much time into screaming and crying.
Is it different, do you think? You've been around a
My
child,
screaming
I
and crying?
assume.
No.
Do you think there's a difference between adult crying,
like once,
crying and crying? What is it? What are we talking about? Crying and
screaming and crying.
Screaming and crying.
No, it's exactly the same for me. Just Exactly the same.
As an adult, you
Small
still do that.
fists.
Like, there's that moment of if you can get it right there and make the person laugh, they won't start screaming. They won't start crying like the child
Yeah.
in that moment.
Oh,
That's still a thing as an adult.
yeah.
You're in the grocery store and
Yeah.
you accidentally drop a jar of
Spill some
jelly.
milk, clearly.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. You have like 0.3 seconds to get out some keys and jingle them at me, and it'll solve it. Otherwise, I'm upset.
Is that what your husband does? He's just got keys ready to go to try to distract you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, different shapes, sizes. They make nice noises.
Wait, are
And
these
I'm
not
just
just
like,
like your car and house keys? These are like specific
different. No, these
anti-crying
are
keys?
soothing keys.
Oh.
Yeah. I put them immediately into my mouth, and I'm just, wow.
What's that
Yeah, it's fine.
thing that goes above the baby's crib?
A mobile.
Is that really what it's called?
That's what that. Yes.
Why? Because it's mobile? Because it moves around?
Neither of us have children
No,
to
I
answer
know.
this question.
I'm far from an expert
So
on
anyway,
this topic.
my name is Mary, and I've known him for my whole life.
Right. I think just as a catch line
if-
and as an easy thing to say,
what
it's
if-
better if we say we know each other for our whole lives. I get that there is a semantic 3-year period, but again, I justify that because I
like
don't
that
have any
better.
memories of that period. I don't know that I existed.
I don't know I exist right now.
Okay, so this will just be the existential episode. How do you know if you're alive?
Uh-oh.
I'm
What if
Googling
your
that.
legs? One of the cats says, hello. She said, hello.
Is this wait, is this is the introduction episode? This is all about introductions. Are we going to be introduced to all the
Yes.
cats?
I don't have a long enough headphone cable.
The top answer? I don't know why it
Otherwise,
came
yeah.
up as how do you know if you're alive? Tell someone to kick you in the balls.
Oh my God.
I don't think that,
I guess
that doesn't
it
seem very
works.
scientific. There's half the population that's not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, oof. Well, your ovaries are what become balls. So I guess if you could kick
I don't think you
ovary
want to
having
get kicked in
person,
the ovaries.
I mean, I didn't say I wanted to. Do you want to be kicked in the balls?
Well, no, not really. I was hoping for a different test. I've scrolled past Reddit
There you
as that
go.
doesn't seem like a great source of information.
That's my source for everything. If I don't get the
yeah.
answer immediately,
I
I
see-
type
okay.
the next word is Reddit.
You're not wrong. That is just a modern internet browser because of the way that
it's-
everything works. But
It's how I find it.
that's not going to work forever. As a matter of fact, they're starting to do away
Well-
with that because they don't want bots scraping the website. So you're not going to be able to find new answers. You can only find old stuff. But anyway, NASA has a website that says, how can we tell if something is alive or not?
Ooh, what's the determining factor?
It's not that easy.
Is its tongue out?
Nope, that's not it.
Are their eyes little X's?
If that was an official
Do they
NASA
look-
document.
Do they look like Padme in Lego Star Wars when she's dead and her eyes become X's? And
Yes.
I think her tongue is out, maybe.
Yes,
I know
that-
her eyes become X's.
That is an official, like, on the documentation. You have arrived on alien planet. Look for alien life. Is it alive? Look for X's on the eyes. That is official. Yeah, that makes sense.
X's are coins, depending upon like the type of. I don't know. I lost
Coins?
it.
What
It's
game
okay.
is that?
Real life?
Oh, mythology. I'm on it. Got it. Yep,
yeah,
River
like
Styx.
putting
I'm there.
coins over.
Yep.
So I was at Dragon Con not too long ago.
Hold on. Let's do that one next. As another one.
What, like next Oh.
Yeah. Leave this one. I really figured we'd get
Oh.
further with that introduction bit, and that would take longer. I was wrong.
We made it like 10 minutes.
Here, we'll just cut this. Continue
Yes.
back in. Do you have a story to tell?
Oh, perfect.
Because I've got notes, but I'll give you an
oh.
opportunity.
Let's go. Do your notes.
Okay, hold on.
Begin. Note.
I have to pull them up.
Note us.
I wasn't ready.
Oh my.
I really figured we
Oh.
could get 30 minutes out of introduction stories. I really figured that you were a bit more
Ooh.
socially awkward like I was, and you also would have the fear of talking to people and telling them your name, which is a stupid fear to have.
Oh, so many things are just completely irrational. You know what one of mine is? I can't get my oil changed by myself. Don't
Like,
mm, uh, I don't know. I don't know. Can't bring myself to do it.
okay,
Something
wait,
says
like
no.
go to another
Something
place
says
and
no.
have someone else. Have you ever changed your own oil?
No, I don't have any ramps. I need to get some
Okay.
ramps.
I've done it
Ramps.
once and I know what it's worth. And that's why I pay someone else to do it. I need to get the oil change in my car, is what you've
Exactly.
reminded me.
I've
It's been a
watched
while.
it. I've watched it happen many a time, but
It's
now
a
now
process.
30-year-old me cannot. She cannot drive to an oil change place and go window down. Hi. Yeah, I've been here before. Information.
Wait, do
Hmm?
you have a like drive up oil change?
We have many.
I
Yes.
have
I feel
never
like a
been to a
NASCAR
drive.
driver
I
every time.
It's always like a building. The NASCAR. You just jump out and
Nah,
get it
we've got
done.
some.
That's
I don't have to jump out. I don't have to jump out. I
that
stay in my
seems
car the
even
whole time.
better.
I just scroll on the Reddits,
Okay, now wait.
and then the car go like this a couple of times because they're going burp, burp, and
I've
that's
never
really
had.
fun.
Yeah.
What? I will figure out what company. I'll Google it. I'll find it for you.
No, that's fine. I don't need to go
Nearest
experience this.
oil
It's
change.
just
No, it's so
okay.
fun.
But do you have anxiety about like a drive-through or any other instance where another human is going to approach your vehicle?
No,
It's just the oil change. What about a car wash?
just a car wash is nerve wracking because I'm concerned I won't put it in the right spot before I put it in neutral. Otherwise, like, nah, it's fine. That's it. It's just the oil change. Don't know why. Don't know why.
Okay, see,
Or
this
I
is
guess probably taking my car to a mechanic,
well,
maybe. But
that's
like, I
why
prefer to have
every oil
another
change I've
person
ever
too.
gotten has been like mechanic. You go inside, you talk to them, they take your keys, they take your vehicle, they go to get the oil change, they come back and go, here's a laundry list
Nope.
of other things that we want to charge you for, and you go, no, I'm poor. Please just do the oil change. I'll get the rest of that stuff done later. That's every oil change I've
No,
ever
and I
done.
can even actually no, I don't have a problem dropping my car off at a mechanic. It is specifically the anxiety hits with just taking it through a drive-through oil change.
That's nuts. Do you
If
have
I dropped it
other
off for an oil change, it would probably be fine.
Yeah, have you done
I
that?
don't know. I'll have to test it.
You should.
Usually it's both Wade and I because we're taking two cars so we can drop one off to do whatever tune up, etc.
Ah,
To spend the money. That's so fun spending.
I need to get my oil change. I'll probably try
Love
to do
it.
that tomorrow. I might forget, but I'm going to
There
try.
you go. Oh yeah, I guess you don't work on Mondays, do you?
Yeah, sure don't. Tuesday through Friday.
That's pretty sweet. Pretty
So,
sweet. Pretty
you know
sweet.
how when a person gets
Y-
enough done in their life and they are British, they are knighted to show that they've done good, I think. I don't really
Okay.
know the official, like, what are the reasons behind it, because I feel like they just kind of loosey-goosey go, this person's done enough, we're going to knight them.
Okay.
What would be the
I
American version of
yeah,
that?
sure. Hot dog eating competition. Like insert name I don't know right now. The champion guy.
Well, no, that's just
Who
a
I think is
content. I'm not
going to
saying what would it take. I'm saying what
No,
would we
that
call
that
that?
would get united.
But we wouldn't call it knighting. What would we call it? I don't have an answer for this, just to be clear. I'm not trying to lead you to something. I genuinely thought of it being like, you wouldn't call it the same thing. You can't knight Americans. Only British people can be knighted. They've pretty well locked that down. So what would we do here?
I don't there's like a WWE belt involved or something, I bet. It's being belted.
There
Done.
is a side of
Nailed
fries
it.
or a beer.
For sure. You get a thing you can drink out of. It's the cupping. There we go. Ta-da. Cup.
Oh.
It's
But
the
what
cup.
would your title be? You've been cupped? I don't know if that, I feel like it would be
That's it.
something purely American. So it's either being
You've been Americaned. Done.
That probably, honestly, legitimately, that's probably it. We wouldn't be creative enough to come up with a
Yes.
good term, and we would just be like, America.
Yeah. You've been Americaned.
Okay. Here is your overpriced car. Everything's going to go up, and you won't make enough money.
Oh. Oh. I don't like the sad podcast.
It's real.
No. Let me escape. No, thank you.
You know,
Ah.
what? You know, there are like cultural events that hit
Probably.
on a big enough level that you would have heard of them. I'm getting to it because I didn't think about how to phrase this before I started.
You didn't.
Okay. Hold on. Go back. A reference.
Okay.
This is a reference so you understand. You know how you mishear lyrics in songs, and then after many years you go, wait, that's what they're actually saying. That makes sense because
Oh, yeah.
singers have
For sure.
accents, and you don't always hear things, or you're halfway listening with something like that. But that same like half recollection of something, but it's misinformation on a cultural event, a big enough event that people know about it. You're on board?
Okay.
Be thinking about that because I want to know if you have anything of that level, but I'll tell you the one that I found out this week. Milli Vanilli. You're aware. I had thought about it most recently because I was watching a Bob's Burgers episode where they were going to, basically the whole premise is they're trying to do a school project and Tina's going to be singing and Gene's doing the music, and then Tina sings a line and he goes, here's a fun thing, you cannot sing. And so he says, we're going to Milli Vanilli it. And she goes, I'm sorry, I don't speak Italian. And that's a hilarious joke. But it made me actually later then at the computer go, Milli Vanilli. Here's up until that moment, for 30 something years of life, I am aware of Milli Vanilli, knowing that it is a singer who I thought was female, who was lip syncing and got caught doing it, which is a common thing for performances because you can't always perform at 100%, but people paid money to see, right? That's what I thought it was. And as it turns out, I'm sure everyone already knows this. It's a group of people.
Yeah,
it's two men who are rapping. So I discovered that this week in 2024.
That's impressive. That is impressive.
By doing one internet search and going, oh, I'm wrong. I'm very wrong. But
my most recent version of this is just not as impressive.
No, I didn't expect you to be able to top it because that one's pretty monumental. Like, not even knowing that there was two people, not even one. I mean, it's one thing to think of one person, but I never bothered to look it up. And it was actually a pair of them. I know nothing else about it. I wanted to fall down that rabbit hole, but I was supposed to be working, so I got work done instead. But that was something I learned.
Yes, I don't know when I knew that information, but I've known it for a minute that it's two men and not one lady named Milli Vanilli. But
I mean, it does
I guess
sound
I can see it.
Like,
sure,
you could picture it. I don't know how
I've
you
heard
picture
sound. Yes,
two men merging together to make one woman singer, but that's what I pictured. I think at the time.
Do you know any Milli Vanilli songs? Is that because that could probably.
I don't think I know any of them. That would definitely be a really good way to know that it's two men. I don't think I've heard a single Milli Vanilli song. If I had to guess,
top of my head,
what would have been I like bands growing up that we would have known about, or singers, there would have been like NSYNC. I don't think you say NSYNC, do you? I'm going to start calling them that. Backstreet Boys, those would have been like, I would have known of them. And then I would have known female artists, like the ones who would have been big enough would have been Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. Yeah, those would have been. So I must have just gone, oh, okay, this is a female, like a Britney Spears, who was a singer and was lip syncing at a concert and got caught doing that. And it became a whole thing. Anyway, there's a documentary about Milli Vanilli. I think it came out last year. I'm going to watch it now because now I know nothing about it and I realize I should probably educate myself slightly.
There you go. Look at that. Circle.
But do you think there is any percentage of people on the planet who also had the exact same assumption I did?
Probably 3 of them, yes.
3% or 3 people?
Yes. It
No,
varies.
that can't be 3% of people is not 3. There are not 100
It's
people on the planet.
yes.
That's not how math works.
Yes.
There
This
might
is not a math podcast, and I refuse to allow it to become one. Thank
I
you.
also I don't know what we would talk about in that point.
It would just be us. You would just hear how hot our brains are. That's it. Do you know your brain heats up by a couple of degrees when it's like
When you're
for me when
thinking?
I'm doing math?
Well, I'm picturing it like
When
a
you're
computer,
using
and
it really
computers get
good.
hot when it's trying to process stuff. So
Your
the
brain be doing that. Yep.
how many wait, okay. How many degrees is it? Because I feel like a couple of degrees could boil you. How
Slash
hot
Reddit.
does the brain
There you
get
go.
while thinking hard? These are Celsius.
How
105
many
degrees
degrees?
Fahrenheit will damage the brain
There we go.
immediately.
Okay, well, I
okay.
work up to 104.5.
If I take my temperature, is that the temperature of my brain? My brain is water cooled, so it should technically be cooler than anything.
Can we get another sibling on the podcast who I hope could answer this?
No, we have to do this ourselves. We have the internet, all of the internet, and our current brain.
Can I phone
I just
a friend?
cracked myself up with thinking about my brain
Please.
being water cooled, though, because technically it's in a liquid.
I mean, it's got to be a percentage of water. So, yeah. I like to be water cooled after being outside in the summer. I go.
Is it just drinking
water behind me, and I would like to cool with it. Maybe. I bet it is in a roundabout way. Well, let's hope I don't bump anything while I turn around, because that's where I chose to put my water.
That was foolish. You should have set up slightly differently.
Yeah. Well, I also thought we were going to play games at the same time, and so I made sure I could see the screen where my Xbox is.
Yeah, we've been through quite a setup today.
Massive water cup here.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's almost like I completely wiped my brain between recordings, and then I go, what do I need to do?
I just press a record button.
How do I
That's all you do.
Prepare for this?
Well, it's taken me a while to get a whole setup where I can just sit down and press record. And you know what didn't work today? Sitting down and pressing record. And it wasn't the sitting down part. I handled that.
Yeah. This morning I plugged in the third monitor, went ahead and brought my Xbox in here, set it up, and then didn't remember in our discussion of using phones that I needed 2 devices to record and see and you. Yep.
Yeah, no, it's been a process.
When it came time to go, like, let's do it, I was like, what? I said, huh? I did everything else, what? Like a silly billy.
That's fine. We're just going to start scheduling tech support for 15 to 20 minutes before any recording time to always make sure that there's time to get everything fixed up.
When the reminder goes off in my calendar, it is 15 minutes before, so I'm just going to start considering that the moment where I just begin to try things.
That's not like, oh, start getting ready. That's you need to be going already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's time for pleasantries. How long is too long? Do we just 8 hours maybe? 8 hours of a podcast? This should be 8 hours.
That does seem like too long.
Just until I leave for work.
No, why would you stop then?
Oh, okay.
Do you think your job would be okay with you live streaming a podcast while you were working? I can tell you mine wouldn't be. There'd be like, confidential information and it would be boring.
Yeah, I guess it would be really boring. It would be me sometimes being on the phone or definitely like a lot of typing and a lot of like. Okay. Or what do you mean? Many of those. I do that a lot.
Yeah, no,
sometimes I pound my fist on the desk and then I go, blood alone moves the wheels of time, I think is Dwight's quote.
Blood alone? I thought that was a new Pokemon. It's a balloon filled with blood.
It's on the horizon, I'm sure. Yeah, that's it. It looks like a cast form, except I think there is a balloon-looking Pokemon now. But cast form is the only one I can remember. Wait, isn't there one that's like loon something? Like the word loon is in it, because that's the balloon part. I remember it. Right. I can pick.
There's over 1,000 of them. Drifloon, but it's filled with blood. What?
Okay. There's 1,000 Drifloons.
That's a lot of blood.
It's the worst version of the 99 Red Lost Balloon song. 1,000 Drifloons.
Oh, that's terrible.
It sounds so annoying. Do you think they're perfectly in sync like the Clefairies? Or do you think it's just like a cacophony of them making whatever sound they make? Do they say their own name or do they just kind of like...
I think they take turns. I don't think you could get them all in sync without them trying and like practicing. I mean, they're fairly intelligent creatures, except for some of them.
I bet they probably sync up. What game did Drifloon come into? Because I don't think I ever interacted with that Pokemon, if I'm being honest.
I think Gen 4, maybe?
I feel like them... Okay, so...
It doesn't tell me. Blue, I just opened the... I should have found a different link.
But the ones that I'm
pretty sure
played were Red and Blue and Ruby and Sapphire.
It was 4. I have played a ton of Ruby and Sapphire. That was a great one.
Which generation is Ruby and Sapphire?
That was 3.
Okay. That would probably be why.
Gen 4 would have been Diamond and Pearl.
Which I believe I own. I think I own Diamond, but I haven't played it.
I also was in the similar position where I skipped out on a bunch of them up until a year or two ago where I sat down kind of and played every Pokemon game.
Oh, because you weren't sitting,
I was riding the exercise bike. Yeah, it was an excuse to exercise I guess that's sitting. I didn't want to. It is sitting, but it doesn't. If you say I sat down and played the games, but really you were on an exercise bike, it's a little bit different than the sentiment of I was sitting and playing games.
You sit on a bicycle seat, it's called a seat.
You do, but there's more. You wouldn't be like, oh, let me get a seat and you pull up a bicycle. People wouldn't really consider that.
I'm going to start doing that.
If you go to a restaurant and someone pulls a bicycle up for you and go, here, have a seat. We'll give you your meal and you'll have to stay balanced.
I would hope it's a stationary.
No.
You have to just keep riding around. Oh, God. Bleh.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
I never managed to ride without my hands on it, so that would not work for me.
Oh, yeah, you definitely couldn't do what I did then and play games on the exercise bike because there's no way. You can kind of lean over sometimes, but you're basically hands are on a DS or other gaming things.
Well, that I can do. A stationary bike is easy peasy. I can no hands. But I mean like a bicycle. I never learned to I feel like I never had whatever type you were able to just kind of not lock in place, but I guess turning it was enough effort to it would just stay still if you let go.
I feel like that was the bike so much as the person.
I have no clue.
I know exactly.
But if I were to let go, it would definitely be like, oh.
No, it would be hands on, and then you go hands off, and then hands right back on. That would be the you go.
That's all it was, yeah.
And then that's
you could definitely let go and be cool and only have like one hand on it. You're like, oh yeah.
You could be cool, but you couldn't be as cool as jumping off a curb.
I love jumping off a curb. I feel like I recently did that.
Thing you could do. You just go down.
No, it was really cool. It's awesome, and you do.
Yeah, a little bunny hop,
and then you stand up for the back tire so it doesn't hurt your butt. Or really, really cool was doing not a wheelie because we were scared. We definitely would have cracked open our skulls.
Oh, I would have.
Because we didn't wear helmets.
I didn't even like going fast.
Really, ever, but going over the root in the road. In front of the neighbor's house, we'd be like, yeah, the tiny, like this much air, maybe.
You're making me remember.
Knowing people who could do wheelies.
Oh, God.
I never could.
That just seemed like it wasn't something I even wanted to attempt. But for that level, what you reminded me of is when we would go down a hill and the brakes wouldn't go fast enough, you put your feet down and just drag your feet to slow you down as you're going, no, too much.
Yeah. Yeah, and
What
then
a
when your
horrible.
parent
We're just
catches
ruining
you and
shoes.
goes, "Stop it," because of exactly that reason.
Well, it was that, or you
They
just
say
fly down the hill and then you go out of control.
specifically the big hill in the neighborhood that was like a challenge to go down.
Yeah.
Like other children, you would have a very small group
That,
watching you go down the hill. And I hope your brakes worked and or you made a correct turn. It was
because you hit a
tricksy.
curb at the bottom and go right into the
You
grass.
sure did.
It's not
Yeah.
great.
I never did that, but I definitely loved going down that hill because I was like, I'm a cool bicycle
I did not
lady.
because I didn't like going fast. That was the one where
I
I
loved
think I
it.
had to work myself up
It
to
was
being able to
awesome.
go down with just slammed on the brakes the entire time instead of feet down and brakes.
Wow. Yeah, right.
I was
Or
terrified of going
I
fast and
do
crashing.
I do kind of miss the going let's see. Going downhill and having the type of bicycle where you just pedaled backwards to apply the brakes. Those were great rather than the handlebar brakes. I feel like that one was much better because my hands got tired. Whereas if I had my brakes and it was just pedaling backwards, I would just balance them like that. Like I'd get them relatively even and then I'd stand up. And then it
Yeah.
was really cool.
Yeah.
I'd be like, "What's up,
See, I preferred the
everybody?
handbrakes because then
I'm
the feet were
11."
free to drag and to slow you down
Yeah.
and ruin your shoes.
Well, if you could do it with one foot,
I'm
braking
pretty
with
sure
one
I
foot,
didn't. I think by the
shoe
time
on
I
the
was
ground.
old enough to go down the hill, I had handbrakes. That was how you upgraded. You went from baby bike to teenager bike by getting one with handbrakes, right?
Exactly. And then you made the seat as tall as you possibly could because you were like, I'm a cool kid and I don't need my feet to touch the ground.
When was
Yes,
the
you
last time
do.
you rode a
Yes,
bicycle?
you do. Probably a year ago,
Oh
maybe
wow.
two. I
Okay.
had a bicycle for a while. And then when I wasn't using it at all, uh, I eventually
I don't
donated
think I've touched
it.
a bike
And
in 20
now
years.
they make a very pretty one that is like anodized metal. So it's the like
Hmm.
blue, green, pink, purple color
Hmm.
shift
Does
on
it have
the
a basket?
titanium. No, but I could put a basket on it. I'd
You
build a
got to have a
basket. It'd be
basket.
fine. I could milk crate it and then put lasagna in it, who is passed out on the floor next to me. He's the only one who can be in here during recording. All the rest
He's the
are
only one allowed.
explorers. Yeah, because he just comes in and goes to sleep. He lay down. He very happy.
Yeah, he's a log.
Snoozing. Just a little snooze. That's my man.
Do you think this was a good introduction?
No,
Okay.
probably not.
Good. Then we're on track for exactly what we should be, which is not very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes. The day we get as a review, I'm taking it. I'm retiring. Going out
It was like,
on
well,
top.
it wasn't bad. And you go, I'm done.
Yeah.
I can't. I
Yeah,
peaked. I can't go any higher than
I've
this.
peaked. Yes. That's my Everest. Eh. If I
All
can
right.
get someone to react like Larry David, done.
That's the perfect
If he's just
reaction.
bum 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 bum.
Well,
Which I hear properly in my head, but what comes out sounds like the beginning of a newscast.
yeah, I wasn't going to say that, but that is what it sounded. It sounded like you were about to grab some papers and be like, 15 dead in a fire today.
This cat is asleep on the floor next to me, and he's very cute, and his little hands are tucked in. Urgent news.
See, if he didn't sound so cute sleeping, I'd say you should pick him up, but
He just
bother.
did these.
Don't bother the sleeping cat.
No.
No.
If he wants to join me, he will. But he's asleep on the floor. He's very happy right now. Insert photo of Lazog right here.
You'll have to give me that.
Perfect. I will. You got it.
All right. Well, if you made it through
I have a
this, there'll be more later. You'll probably be like it. You'll probably like it. What?
You'll probably be just like it.
And take two. Well, thanks for
Signing
watching.
off.
Good enough.
And excellent. Perfect. Nailed it.
Why did I do that?
Why did you end this stream? Incorrect thing.